Ultimately, I think one of the problems that you have to face is that you won't be able to please everybody. And listen to me, that is okay. You need to learn how to tell people no, because when you say yes to everyone else, you say no to yourself. I reported 78% of people struggle with setting healthy boundaries in their life. They repeatedly get those boundaries crossed because they don't know how to set them in a respectful and healthy way. Today, I'm going to teach you how to do just that. My name is Green-Ellis. Welcome to the Legacy Lab. What's up, my friends? I hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already done so, hit subscribe so that you can join the family. Let's get into it. This will directly impact your mental and emotional health, which directly impacts your ability to achieve the things that you are set out to achieve. You need to learn how to set healthy boundaries. Watch. You need to learn how to tell people no, because when you say yes to everyone else, you say no to yourself. You may not say it directly, but that is in essence what you are saying, because you can't do everything at the same time. You cannot be all things to everyone at every moment of the day. What about you? What about your dreams? What about your goals? What about your aspirations? The challenge is that, especially if you were raised like me, to love all people, to sacrifice, to be a good person, right? Is that we often put other people before ourselves. And I'm not telling you to be selfish. I do agree that it is an important skill to be selfless, but not at the expense of your mental health, not at the expense of your well-being, and not at the expense of your goals, regardless of who asked you to do whatever they ask you to do. I don't care if they got your same last name. You need to learn how to set these healthy boundaries while you're young, because when you get older, it's only going to increase. You're going to get better at what you do. More people are going to want and need from you, and you have to learn how to respectfully tell people no. One of the greatest problems that I think that most people face when it comes to this is that we get so personally offended when people cross those boundaries. The truth is, many of them may not know. Now, there are some who do know and they just simply don't care. Either way, this is something that you have to take responsibility for and do it on your own, because whether or not they know it and whether or not they do it ignorantly, they are crossing a boundary that should not be crossed. I know you were raised to sacrifice. I know you were raised to love others. I know you were raised to put them first. I know you love them, but do you love you? At this point in time in your life right now, I want you to love you more, especially when you don't have to choose anyone else over you. There's going to come a time in your life where you're going to have to sacrifice. Like for me, I don't have the option to choose me first anymore. I got to choose my wife. I got to choose my children. And this is something that I chose at a specific time in my life. It didn't spring up on me. I chose this. This is what I wanted. This is what I envisioned. And I want you to carry out the vision for your life. I don't want you to be living someone else's vision or what they wanted for you. I want you to carry out what's in your heart, but you got to choose you. And the only way that you'll be able to do that is if you choose you, is if you develop the skill of strategically choosing you, especially when you have other things to choose. One of the number one objections that I hear about choosing ourselves over other people is that there's a sense of guilt that we get when we say, I don't want to do this right now. Here's how you get rid of the guilt. Assess whether or not you can actually do it at this time. Now, the chances are you're running into this problem and you get offended when people ask you is because you have other things to do. And if you have other things to do and that's not a priority, then get rid of the guilt. I want you to really assess what is on your plate right now. And you can respectfully say, I'm sorry, at this time, I can't handle another responsibility. If you still want to be a do-gooder, which I am an advocate of, you can present some additional options that don't require you to put in as much work or as much time. You could say something like, well, I'm sorry, I can't do it at this time. My plate is really full. But you could look at it this way. Why don't you look this up? Why don't you try going about it in this way? This may lead you to a better result. I won't be able to serve you the way that you need to be served right now. Now, I know you're young, but you're Team Legacy Lab. You're here, so you're family. I'm going to hold you to a higher standard, especially when you're offended when someone crosses a boundary that does not give you the right to lash out. I still want you to find a way to be respectful. A lot of times we fear the confrontation that comes when people cross boundaries, but you can easily de-escalate what could be an escalated situation simply by how you respond. My favorite book, the greatest selling book of all time, it says, a soft answer turns away wrath. You've heard it like this. It doesn't matter what you say, but how you say it. You're in essence still telling them no, but if you say it in a respectful way, what it does is that it salvages the relationship. Because here's the thing, even though they offended you, even though they crossed the boundary, you might need them sooner or later. The point is that you still want to honor and respect the person while still telling them no. Even if it's your mama, And I know my mama watched these videos, but she raised me like this. And so she'll understand. I want to tell you plainly, my friend, it is okay to set a boundary and tell people no. Get rid of the guilt. It's a trick. It's a lie. Don't believe the lie. You have other things to do. And even if you don't have other things to do, it's okay to not have to do anything every single moment of your life. I want you to master this skill, because ultimately what it's going to do is take space up in your brain, and it's going to impact your mental and emotional health, and it could be in a detrimental way. I don't want you to waste your efforts and your time and your energy and your stability on things that do not push you forward. I want you to practice and hone the skill of communicating effectively. Now, especially if you are offended by someone crossing a boundary, wait until you can communicate effectively in a calm manner, in a respectful way, before you respond. Because again, you never know what the future holds. You may, in fact, actually need this person. And so it is to your advantage to be respectful, even when the boundary is crossed. Here's another way to say no. You can start by thanking them for consideration. Say, I thank you so much for considering me on this project. However, at this time, my schedule will not allow me to take on any additional work. Sometimes you will have to make the sacrifice, but I want you to consider what you're sacrificing. Are you making the sacrifice at the expense of your mental and emotional health and your well-being? Is it going to take away from the path that you're on? Is it going to cause you to get distracted? Is it going to cost you extra money? Is it going to cost you extra time? I want you to weigh these things before you commit to them. Ultimately, I think one of the problems that you have to face is that you won't be able to please everybody. And listen to me, that is okay. Being a people pleaser usually leads to one person always consistently being unpleased, and that's usually the man in the mirror. An additional benefit to telling people no and prioritizing what matters most to you is that it helps you get clear on what you are doing. And you already know my favorite quote, clarity fuels confidence. You can't be chasing two rabbits at the same time, especially when you are young. So prioritize yourself now. Learn how to tell people no in a respectful and a professional way so that you salvage the relationship while at the same time protect your personal boundary. It's going to help you in the long run. Please, please, please don't miss this. It only gets worse as you get older, okay? You're only going to have more opportunities for those boundaries to be crossed with your family, with your friends, with your coworkers, with your bosses, with new opportunities, with your neighbors, whomever it may be. Be okay with telling people no. I sincerely hope that you've learned something today. Watch this a couple times if you need to, and talk to yourself in a positive way. Encourage yourself. Practice self-care, because I know this is a challenge for some of you guys. Don't be the one who continually struggles with telling people no, because you're saying yes to everybody else, but you're subconsciously saying no to yourself. I don't want you to sacrifice your goals, dreams, and aspirations, who you're supposed to become, how you're going to impact the world in a positive manner just because you want to please people. My name is Jordan Green-Ellis, and this is the Legacy Lab. If you learned something today, I want you to hit that subscribe button before you go. Always remember that you, my friend, are destined for greatness, but there's a journey on your way there. I want you to be committed to that journey. Tune in every single week for a new episode of the Legacy Lab. I'm signing out, but I'll see you soon. Stay legendary.